Okay, my name's Zakashi guys, and in this video here we are going to be doing a should you summon for the new Legends Limited Nappa revival into Vegeta. This is for the Saiyan Saga, and I have to say their kit is a bit complicated, not specifically because it's difficult to understand, but there's a lot of writing and there's a lot of things that they both do that are just way more complicated and have you thinking, especially if you're going to be using them in PvP. But if you want to know my opinion straight away, I think they won't be necessary unless you want to run a team like Saiyans or you want to run a team like Saiyan Saga. If you're not running any of the two, I don't think the unit will necessarily be favorable for you, but I think you should definitely take in the kit that I'm going to explain in this video because they're very mechanical. And you'll see what I mean once I get into the kit summary, which I will be doing in this video. Naturally though, you should be saving for the anniversary, and I'm going to give a lot of reasons why you should consider not summoning or at least take a step back before you just go straight into the banner if you plan to. But me being me, I'm advising you guys to save for the 6th anniversary, considering that we all want, at least guys on my channel, want Ultra Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, and if that guy drops, he's the one we want to be summoning for. I'm doing too much talking, man. Let's get into this video. So we got to do the precursors, implying things that you should consider before you actually go in and just summon if you do plan to summon. Now the first thing I want to say is that you should definitely be watching showcases. There will be content creators that will be summoning on this unit no matter what. They just got unlimited funds, so they can just buy the Chrono Crystal, summon on the unit. If the unit's bad, they'll take the fall. If the unit's good, you'll see it from them first before you having to waste your own Chrono Crystals. There's no risk factor in waiting. The banner's going to be here for a while until June, I believe, so there's no reason for you to go head first and spend your Chrono Crystals when there's somebody else that'll spend their Chrono Crystals and show you real life gameplay of using that unit, especially because most content creators as well also have good teams. So I advise you take your time with that and wait it out to see what the content creators do with the unit, then make your decision. I also want to point out the fact that the anniversary is close. I always like to push the narrative that you should consider the near future if there's anything good that could come out. Is the Saiyan Saga really that top tier for you? If it is for you, then you should summon. It's up to you, of course, but consider that anniversary is literally a month away, and that could be the end all be all for the whole meta as it is. This unit could literally get counted the next month, you know? So be wary about that, but there's no guarantee and you can never really tell the future. But just in case there's something more hype that you like, in most cases there will be in the anniversary, you should consider that. I also want to say that your Chrono Crystals are probably low. Most people got baited by Ultra Instinct Goku or Ultra Vegeta Blue, and if any of those guys baited you, and I didn't even include Goku and Bardock, if any of those 3 guys baited you, technically it's 4 because there's a tag unit, or even 5 because Goku and Vegeta, I'm doing too much. If any of those guys baited you, you're probably low on Chrono Crystals. And if you're low on Chrono Crystals, that means you won't have a lot of Chrono Crystals to even spend on this banner. So why would you keep summoning? It's better that you just save your coins, save your Chrono Crystals, so that you can be better off for the future banners nearby, most specifically the anniversary. And the last thing I want to say is that the banner is going to last quite a long time. So if you really want to summon on this unit, there's no harm in waiting. You don't have to summon straight away. You could wait for a while, see how it plays out in the meta, then really decide if the unit's for you. You don't need the unit day one. There's no rush for you. You don't have videos to make or anything like that in most cases that you're watching this video. So I advise you just take your time, take it easy, and see how things play out before you even spend your Chrono Crystals. It's just way more effective to do it like that. Now that we've gone through all of this, let's get into the kit, man. Now, when I do these kit breakdowns, I usually go through the whole kit, but what I noticed is that this kit is huge. They do so much. Nappa and Vegeta, I've already read the whole kit, but there's a lot of writing, man, a lot more than usual, specifically because it's not just one unit, it's technically 2 because it's 2 characters. There are revive factors and unique gauges nowadays. It goes crazy, you know. So what I've gone ahead and done is made a summary. Now it's not much of a summary I wrote here. I dropped the kit summary for the LO Nappa Revival Vegeta unit. The unit seems really calculated and won't be the easiest to grasp, so it's not much of a summary considering there's a lot of writing. However, it's a lot less writing than reading the whole kit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read my tweet of things that I took out that are super important. I never go through the whole kit anyways. I only point out things that you should necessarily look for in this unit. So let's get into that. So we're going to start with Nappa's side here. I put it all in bullet points. It's very clear. You should definitely go follow me on Twitter so you can grasp everything clearly. But if you do want to read the kit as well, you can go ahead and do that. I know you guys are Dragon Ball fans, so you might not want to do that. Cool. What you need to know is both units are purple. Whether you're pre-revival, post-revival, they're both purple. That's very important. It's probably the biggest factor that people wanted to take in. So the unit is purple. Nappa's got blast armor on his strike, which is obviously very effective. special move that seals special moves on hit for 5 timer counts. So if you land a Nappa special move, you're going to seal the enemy's special moves for 5 timer counts, which could be useful depending on if you're fighting someone like Golden Frieza, Beast Gohan, you know the sorts. Draws card on green, so any card on green, you draw a free card, which is dope. You get 5 timer counts of cover nullification, and you also get 20% damage inflicted, and you get 100% to the unique gauge charge rate, so you'll be charging it a lot faster. 100% to the rate, not the amount of it needing to fill. Next, main draws special move, nullifies destroy card effects. That's very useful because a lot of units be destroying cards nowadays, especially at the most inconvenient times, and that effect is applied to the unit for 15 timer counts, which is good, and 50% to the unique gauge charge rate. So that's from the main ability right there. Here, inflicts enemies with minus 30% special move, ultimate, and awakened on entry. So once he comes into the battlefield, the enemy will get hit with these 3 here, 30% for these things here, which is obviously useful because if you're fighting somebody again like Golden Frieza, Beast Gohan, blue cards are very impactful. You might be fighting someone like Ultra Instinct Goku. He would obviously be able to tank that a bit more. Not necessarily tank it, but Ultra Instinct Goku, who locks in and does an ultimate, is not going to be doing as much damage as he would, because when Nappa comes into the battlefield, he's going to basically lower the damage that it can do. Specifically for Sun Family, when he enters the battlefield, any Sun Family enemy members, they will get a sub count of 3 on his entry. He literally says, you cannot come in because you're Sun Family. He hates Sun Family, you can't enter for at least 3 timer counts when he enters the battlefield. So that's obviously something that could be useful as well, especially if you're considering cover changing. He's going to stop you from doing that. He also has a strike cover change, and when he does cover change, he's going to reduce the enemy's draw speed by 1, which is obviously a big use for units you're fighting like Super 17 Golden Frieza. Going forward, the strike and the blast charges his own unique gauge. So every time you press the strike, every time you press the blast, you will be charging your own unique gauge. Here, you get plus 20% damage inflicted and plus 15% blast damage when the enemy combo is over. So similar to like Future Gohan, if they hit the unit and the combo ends, you get these effects added to yourself, which is dope. The full gauge draws enemy special move card, key by 50, 40% to special move damage, and he nullifies the enemy reduced key by 20 timer counts. Now I should have mentioned this earlier, but throughout this whole kit, there's going to be a lot, and I mean a lot, of nullify enemy effects. That's what I meant by earlier when I said this unit's very calculated, technical, mechanical. You have to really know what does what and what stops certain effects taking place if you want to use this unit effectively, so you can be aware of what you don't need to worry about. And then at the bottom here, just like most units, shortens own sub count by 3 if the enemy does a special move. Specifically, the special move is dope because special moves happens a lot. Ultimates, Awakened Arts, and Rising Rushes. So you'll be able to get the unit out of here if you do want to. Get the unit in. So shortens the own sub count by 3, so you can get them back in, which is dope. Because they are a revival unit, you want to take them out. You know, you don't want to lose one of your other units. Alright, so now we're going into Vegeta. This is post revival. Pretty much a lot of what you know, but you're gonna have to follow along with me. Purple, I already mentioned that at the start. He also has blast armor, and I didn't write it here, but Vegeta gets 5 key on strike and blast arts every single time. Moving forward, his special move nullifies endurance and gives him 30% plus special move damage. That's a given. Most special moves will obviously give you special move damage, but the fact that he's post revival now, he should be nullifying endurance, similar to how ultimate arts work. Now, this bit here, you're going to see it's going to pop up a lot. If unique gauge is 25% or more, confuse 25% of the gauge. So it's like a requirement of using his gauge. If you have the gauge 25% or more, you'll be able to benefit from it. You get 20% special move damage, and the special move has blast armor, which is something you'd want to know. Now the green card, it gives you cover now, and you get 10% health, which is something I didn't write, but 10% health is obviously useful. Healing is very important. And again, if the gauge is 25% or more, you're going to take 25% down, and it's going to give you type neutral and draw 1 card if 3 or fewer, so you'll be able to extend your combo too. Now, this already was mentioned with Nappa, but with Vegeta as well. Every time you do a strike or a blast, you'll be able to increase your gauge. So that's just something on how you should be building it up. Let's move forward now. The main ability, it nullifies the enemy's destroy card effect. A lot of characters destroy cards, and like I said earlier with Nappa, this unit here is very mechanical, calculated, technical. they will be nullifying a lot of effects in different ways, and you need to remember which ones do what. But the main ability on Vegeta nullifies the enemy destroy card, and again, if the gauge is 25% or more, consumes 25, then he's going to get draw speed and plus 20% damage inflicted. Draws one card when 3 or fewer, charges unique gauge 25%, which only happens once, applies the attribute downgrades, health restore, strike, blast, special move, ult and awaken power. This happens all on entry. So these are things that he can do for like just Vegeta. So first when you revive, it takes place, and then when you enter the battlefield again, it will happen multiple times. But this one here, the charge of the unique gauge, only happens once, so just bear that in mind, which I had to specify in brackets. Cool. Moving forward, buffs based on enemy battle members. So depending on how many enemy battle members are left, if there's 2, you'll get a higher buff. If there's 1, it'll be a lower buff, and if there's 0, you know, it's not that big of a deal, but it's something that will help you get that little edge over. I didn't write too much about it because, like I said, this is a summary, but depending on how many enemy battle members are left, you'll be able to get some buffs based off it. Now moving forward, 20% damage and 15% blast damage when the enemy combo is over. Nappa also has this, so you'll be able to buff yourself based on the enemy finishing their combo, similar to future Gohan. He does that both for his allies, but in this case it's for yourself. Here we reduce the sub-ally sub-count when health is below 50% and heals 15%. This only happens once, so once you below 50%, Vegeta Blue has something similar to this, I think, but it's just healing. You'll be reducing your ally sub counts instead, which is obviously useful. You might be able to get them out of here if they get your health down at that convenient time. But because of Vegeta, you don't have an extra layer of protection after this. Cool. Here we got the strike cover change, and obviously it reduces enemy draw speed similar to Nappa. I shouldn't say obviously, but you get what I'm saying, because Nappa does it as well. Upon landing a strike or blast, you get 10% damage inflicted, so he's going to be stacking for 10 timer counts and -2 to cost for 5 timer counts. So you're going to be lowering cost and doing more damage every time you press a strike or blast. Here, strike and blast charges on unique gauge, I already mentioned that, and the same thing with Nappa, shortens own sub count by 3 when enemy special move, ultimate, awakened art, or rising rush. When the enemy does any of those, you'll be lowering your own sub counts, which is obviously useful to bring yourself back in for a sacrifice, etc, etc. That's pretty much it for the kit. That's Nappa and Vegeta both done. Now I'm going to give my opinion on whether I think you should summon on this unit. Now you want to know whether you should summon on this unit. In my opinion, I think everybody can pretty much skip this unit. Now this unit is not bad by any means. I feel like this unit is going to be super good. They specified that Nappa specifically is going to be super tanky, and I can see that being the case. We don't have the stats, but I feel that's very possible. If you are Saiyan Saga main, then this unit will be of value to you naturally. But I feel most people will not need this unit. It's just way better to save for the anniversary, because the anniversaries will be of this standard or even better on better teams and teams that you most likely will enjoy more than what they just provided here. So if I'm being real, this unit is a skip. I'm not saying you should skip simply because they are bad, but more so because the unit isn't good enough to transfer over the anniversary. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. On top of that, I feel like there's reruns people might be interested more than this unit here. You don't have the teams to make this unit work. Of course, you could run them on Saiyans, which is a very popular team, but outside of that, will you be using them? We'll have to see. They work on powerful opponents, of course, because Vegeta, Nappa, but for most people, it's not going to be something of interest. I know some people, or most people, wrote them off instantly. Saiyan Saga, Saving Saga. I'm also one of those people that wrote them off just off it being Nappa and Vegeta. But for the guys that were kind of interested in their kit, unless you are actually maining Saiyan Saga, there's no real point. I will really say though, the banner that they're on is really good. Rev Sign's on the banner and Bombku's on the banner. GT and Rev Sign, people just like Rev Sign for the Ultra Instinct aspect. Those are units that people might like, so it's not ridiculous to summon on the banner, but it is ridiculous given how close we are to the anniversary. So I am absolutely pushing that you skip this banner. I do not think it will be worth your Chrono Crystals. I advise against it, but for particular reasons, the unit could fit in your box. It's pretty much just Saiyan Saga mains. Outside of that, I wouldn't advise for it, honestly. Am I going to be summoning? Right now, I'm at about 34,000 Chrono Crystals. I could summon if I want to, but I'm not going to. Unless someone pays me, unless someone funds my summons, that's free money. I'm obviously going to summon if that's the case, but I have no reason to summon. I don't even want the unit, to be honest. Nappa and Vegeta just don't interest me. I feel like they should have dropped a Kaioken Goku. Not just a Kaioken Goku. They should have paired Kaioken Goku and Nappa and Vegeta to build up the hype. They've already dropped an Ella Vegeta, so them dropping this revival unit is kind of just like, alright, you're kind of just forcing it now. He really should have dropped the Kalkin Goku of some sort. They're probably gonna do an Ultra though, if I'm looking at it right now, since they Saiyan Saga. It's not over, but would they drop an Ultra for this Saiyan Saga when they just dropped Golden Frieza behind Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Gohan? Unlikely. But yeah, I'm not summoning. Don't expect me to summon. I won't be waking up in the morning to showcase them. I'll be having a good night's sleep, waking up at like 10 p.m. or something ridiculous, and then vibing out throughout the day, and then just playing PvP as normal until the anniversary, man. Let's get to saving. But yeah, man, that's going to be the end of the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video, man. If you haven't already, make sure to press that subscribe button. We are on this grind to 100,000 subscribers. I don't have anything much more to say. The units kit does look good, but of course, right before the anniversary, it's not strong enough. They're not good enough to really bait anybody or most people to summon. The timing's just way off. Anyways, my name's Zakashi, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man.